we're sitting in there, and I look outside, and this lady's leaving, and her hair is like sideways, like just strike. And I'm like, that's odd. And then our phones go off, and there was like a
everybody's
tornado.
phone in the entire it starts going off, and there's a
emergency alert.
Right, there's a tornado, like
whatever an Amber Alert is for a tornado. That's what it was.
That's what it is. Yeah. Welcome to episode 71 of the Whiskey and Whitetails podcasts. This is coming out on May 2nd. And man, we have a lot to catch up on. A lot to go over.
You know how much we like y'all? We already did this.
Oh, yeah.
And I forgot to hit record on the camera. So we're going to do it again a couple days later. I had time to be less upset at ourselves. This is an important episode. This episode, we're going to go over the Kentucky stuff. Yeah. Everything in Kentucky. But before...
we get into that.
Yeah.
You're getting a new fridge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if anybody wants to buy a bottle of George C. Stagg 2017 for way too much money, I need a new fridge.
What's one way to get it?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm thinking $1,600.
Yeah.
And then I'll put that towards the refrigerator.
I was just having a conversation with somebody today about secondary prices. He bought years ago for his retirement a bottle of Crown Royal Cask 16, some special release. He really enjoyed it. Tried to find it again recently, and it's like, if you can find it, it's like $1,800.
There's a Crown Royal that cost $1,800.
Apparently, I didn't fact check him, but
I'll stick with the peach.
Ugh.
I still haven't had it. I've been told it's very sweet.
I'm sure it is. I can't imagine it's any less sweet than like the honey ones that are out.
Yeah.
I've tried those. Not for me.
Yeah. I haven't had it. Well,
I'm not missing anything.
If you are interested in supporting the show, we're changing up tiers a little bit. Everybody that's in currently, I think we're going to give it a month or so before we start changing. So if you get in, get it. We have an executive producer here today. Actually, he's not an executive producer. He's an assistant. Executive assistant is here today. If you're going to get in before we change the tiers, you got like 30 days probably. But we're going to change the tiers up a little bit and offer some different rewards. Nobody's going to lose anything. It's just going to be different. Or they'll be grandfathered in if we do take something.
Yeah.
But that's coming. But if you want to join, you go to whiskeyandwhitetails.com. And at the top, you can click Patreon.
Yep, there's a big button at the very, very top. It says Join Patreon.
And while you're there, you can use code podcast
to get 20% off.
We're also going to have more opportunities for you to save money on stuff because we're bringing on ads.
We'll get to that later.
Why? Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll get to that later. So last night, I drove to state of Wilkes, the moonshine capital of the world.
Correct.
And I picked up this thing. Sounds like this. Yeah. But while I was there was another thing there that sounded like this. There's $26,000 in that motor. Something like that. Over 20 grand. Under less than 30. It sounds like a race bike.
Is it your uncle's?
Race motorcycle. And that's my dad's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He got a good deal in it from somebody or something along those lines.
Yeah. Cool, man. So
yeah.
you excited having a bike again?
Dude, that thing is loud. So I am happy to have a bike again. I forgot how much I like it. And it's got 200 more cubic centimeters than the last one.
Yeah.
So she get up and go a little bit.
That's cool.
But we, you're welcome. I took it down those curvy mountain roads and.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Fun?
I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah. I haven't done that in a long time. Long time. And then I drove it all the way back here. Just kidding. I had it on a trailer.
Are you comfortable enough on a bike that you can take a drive like that and just sort of go without thinking about what you're doing?
Yeah. Close my eyes and just.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
yes.
Like manipulating a bike is different. Obviously, you have things you got to consider and think about.
I've been riding motorbikes for many, many years.
Okay. I didn't know.
It's just like riding a bicycle, except a lot faster. Like you got to lean to turn.
Yeah.
And you want to, you know, you can actually push the bike over more. And if you're trying to get, you know, when you see them do those hard turns with their knees drop.
Yeah.
So they drop knee, and what they're doing is they're sitting kind of on the side of the bike because the bike's turned over so far.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You couldn't do that on a cruiser bike. You have the pegs, but it's pretty fun. You know, I got it down as far as I was willing to get it. You know, watching the pegs. Yeah. And most of the pegs bend up, so if you do hit, it just kicks up some. Kicks up, but you know, I don't want to risk that. Yeah. Not with a fresh tattoo.
Oh, it looks good. Starting to scab it up just a little bit.
It hurts way more than it did the day you did it. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like an infection going on or I'm just super sore. It's not red or anything.
Doesn't look infected.
Yeah. It's also in the ditch, which is a painful place to get a tattoo.
Sure.
But I'm glad that's over.
Right.
Yeah. So now I fit the part.
Oh yeah, the motorcycle part.
You know what? Can you guess what I watched on YouTube while driving the whole way back?
A Hell's Angels documentary.
Yeah, on the History Channel. I watched every single episode of it.
Really?
Yeah. So now I'm thinking, you know, we ran into one last weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking I might call Patrick and be like, hey, I need you to
hook you up.
Yeah, put me in contact with this guy.
Motorcycle laws in South Carolina. Can you ride between people?
No, it's called splitting lanes.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
There's a guy was doing that the other day up near where I live, and he had his Hells Angels cut on, and he was just cruising right down the middle.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Excuse me, sir, you can't do that.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned about the documentary is like everybody, they have a reputation, but they try to do a lot of good, but they are not a criminal organization. They're a club. Right. But they take the stance of, we can't help it if some of our members are criminals. But we're not criminals.
As a whole,
yeah,
we are not criminals.
And they're also decentralized. Each chapter runs themselves however they want to run it. So San Diego can't tell Charleston, there's not a Charleston chapter, but they can't tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get them on RICO.
Got you.
Because it's not organized.
Right.
It's the opposite.
So there's not one overall chapter.
Not supposed to be, but
supposed to be.
There is. If you look up the guy that runs it all, there's a head guy.
Sure.
But I think
it's organized that way.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Like we have a national president.
So there's one chapter somewhere that's really being.
I think it's San Bernardino is where he's at.
Really acting up. It doesn't take the entire club down with it.
Right. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And there's a lot of inter club wars and stuff that happen, but they do it like franchising, which is fascinating. If they want to go to if like the Mongols have territory here and they want to go in, instead of starting a chapter and then recruiting people, they'll go to all the little motorcycle gangs that are in that town and they'll incorporate them. Like, hey, patch over and become Hells Angels. And who would say no?
Yeah, right.
If you're in a motorcycle, if you're an outlaw gang,
right,
you're going to do it.
Well, because
everybody wants to be Hells Angels.
Well, yeah, but also like if you're like, no thanks, like then what's the repercussion, right? Like you just kind of painting a target on your back.
Yeah, they might kill you. You know,
no big deal.
I've heard that people have died that have done them wrong, but they, you know, obviously not
criminals though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've always been fascinated with motorcycle gangs.
I can tell.
I find them interesting.
It's an interest. You know, to watch Sons of Anarchy? Big
I did.
fan?
It's too fake. No, I think I saw the first season. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I think I saw it in Afghanistan, just out of boredom.
Yeah, I'm sure you watch a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, on a tiny little laptop. I mean, remember laptop technology back then? Cool. Yeah. So this episode we're gonna go over the Kentucky trip and everything we did in there, and we're gonna try and make up for last episode. But before we get started, we're gonna finish this bottle. I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's no way. This is the Gibby store pick he did of the Weller 107 that lots of people in Patreon got somehow. I don't know how they got it. Do you know?
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. But a lot of people in Patreon got this.
There's a lot of road trips to Charleston.
Yep. But it had great reviews. And I like, Weller 107. OWA's the stuff. The stuff that dreams are made of.
Yeah. So let's see. We started our trip on a bright and ugly Wednesday morning.
Yep.
2 weeks ago now. A week ago.
Oh, before we do that, I was going to throw this reel in here just to get a little more exposure. We did an entire episode on the barrel industry. Barrels. And you can go watch it. Link here. Pow. And then this is the reel. Pretty cool reel, I thought. It's right here. Like if we sit back.
We're holding it up.
Yeah. Fire. Barrels.
If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see that, but there's the video that the reel that Matt put together and posted on our Instagram. Was playing. Go check it out
on Instagram. I also uploaded as a YouTube short about 10 minutes ago.
Nice,
but it's only 15 seconds of it, so you missed the barrel roll at the end. Do a barrel roll. Oh, she had a video idea. Okay, so yeah, our trip started Wednesday morning at 5 in the a.m.
Yeah, bright and ugly.
I think I got there. We get there at 5. The plane left at like 5:30.
Yeah, I was there at 4:30.
4:30, yeah.
I'm glad I got there at that time because what I didn't anticipate was that TSA wasn't open.
Yeah. And
so all the gates were kind of just taking their time getting people through, and the line was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then I had to, this is the first time I've checked a bag since the Army.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hate baggage claim.
Yeah, I do too. But
because point in case, when I got home, the belt broke. So they had to take everything out of the whatever, move it to the other carousel. I was in there for like 45 minutes. So I hate baggage claim. It never goes right.
I've never had an issue with it, but I don't. It's just,
yeah.
I'm already here. I'm where I'm supposed to be, and now I have to sit here and wait 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
I just get too excited. Like if I land somewhere, I'm like, all right, let's go. Even if I come back home.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we
flew to Hotlanta.
Yep, it's right. Atlanta first, short little layover. And then
and we flew coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we're just everyday. How's the song go? I'm just a regular, everyday, normal mother. Yeah. 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 So that's what we are. Just regular.
So got into Louisville. It was raining. Not the greatest weather. We had some time to kill, so we ended up driving around. Just kind of checking out.
Looking at the roads.
Checking out the downtown area. Took a wrong turn. And somehow,
some flashbacks.
Yeah, somehow took a wrong turn and ended up at Justin's House of Bourbon. Like we were like, what do you want to do? Kill some time. And as you asked that question, I was like, look, there's Justin's House of Bourbon.
Yeah, because we didn't know what else to do. It was like, do we go to, whatever?
Yeah. So we had a business call about an hour, so we were trying to kill some time. So we went in and hung out with
Brent
there.
Talked to Brent.
Yeah, which we had no idea was going to be there.
I didn't know he worked in that Louisville store.
We met him
at the Lexington
store. And so we rolled in there and was just like, dude, what's up? So we sat and talked and BS a little bit and killed some time.
Got a couple pours. Bought a bottle for the neighbor, which he still hasn't paid me for. Pay me. Or I will Hell's Angels your ass.
I'm going to
put a hit out.
We'll release moles into his yard again.
Pause everything.
Uh-oh.
We found out how to get rid of moles.
Okay.
So I have mole. I'm the crazy neighbor with my
get off my lawn.
Well, my wife, my wife's grandpa. He had this sword from the Navy, like a real, ceremonial sword. Well, it's pretty dicked up. So I was out there. I've been seen multiple times in my yard with that sword just stabbing the ground like a madman.
What a weird neighbor.
Because I care about my yard, and so they are destroying my yard. So I've tried castor oil. I've tried mole repellent. I've tried the things that kill the bugs in the ground so they have nothing to eat, so they leave. I've tried everything. Everything. Cayenne pepper. I've tried it all. The answer, very easy. You get as soon as you see a hole, so you go out in your yard and you tamp it all down.
Yeah.
Take the garden hose, stick the garden hose in there, and they can't breathe, so they will dig out. And when they start coming out of the ground, you just grab them and then release them somewhere. Which I'm going to release them in my trash can with a bullet hole. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding.
The only way I could get rid of them at the last house was the traps.
We've tried the traps. This guy's invasive. There's more than one. He's got a colony.
Yeah, so I had to track him. Like it became a thing.
Oh,
like,
it's a thing.
Every day, twice a day, I was like keeping track of where I had checked, where I had tamped it down, looking for new runs.
Yeah.
And I would position those traps in those areas. And it sometimes took a couple of days to find them and get them cornered. But eventually I'd look outside and it would have snapped and you go out there and pull them up and it's dead. I think I ended up taking 5 or 6 in my backyard before it stopped.
Well, I'm going to start drowning them. I'm going to Noah's Ark them all.
Yeah.
And then
just flush them out, man.
Yeah. It's going to happen. So we go to just out of bird, and then we decided to go to Old Forester. And so we pulled in the back behind, and then we didn't have enough time, so we didn't go. And thankfully, we didn't go.
Yeah, that was sort of
that changed,
fate, so to speak.
So we went to Peerless. We had a tour at Peerless, which it turns out we did have time because the tour was 30 minutes later than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat around Peerless and played with the cat and
checked out the gift shop.
Yeah, just looked at stuff. It kind of looked like our gift shop.
Yeah.
But
I just got what you meant. It was as if we curated the things in there ourselves.
It was like we walked into our own workshop. But then we did the tour, which was cool. We got to meet Kenny, Kevin, Kyle, Chris, Kevin, the owner.
Oh, Corey. Is it?
No.
No, it's a. I just watched a documentary the other night. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but he's in it. He's in it. It's called. Man, I forget. It's on Amazon.
New one?
It's not neat. It's not On the Rocks.
Yeah.
It's another one, and it covers and tells the story of just craft distilleries, and it covers like 4 or 5 craft distillers. In,
which I did not know. Oh, I guess the word craft distillery means nothing.
Yeah, but it covers. It covered New Riff, Peerless, and 2 other ones that I'd never heard of, and gives their whole backstory. Really, really fascinating.
I'll have to check that out.
I'll look at the name of it when we're done. I'll send it to you. But there's one guy in there who tells a really fascinating story of like his great-great-great-grandfather and some of the stuff that they dealt with during moonshining and like rival moonshiners and stuff. And they still have like heirloom firearms that were used in gun battles during that time. And it's just really cool.
There's probably some of those where I was this weekend.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so I can't remember his name.
He came out and shook our hand.
Yeah, he did. We were upstairs checking out the top of the...
nice guy.
Sweet guy. We were upstairs at the top of the fermenters, right?
Ah, damn, I was going to let you work for that one. You're correct. I was going to see how long it took.
And he just walks out of like a 1950s office door with the frosted glass. He just walks out and he's like, how y'all doing? Hey, he just shakes hands.
And there's like metal filing cabinets behind the door.
Thanking us for coming and like, thank you for
thanks
opening this place up.
Allowing us to come.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy.
But it was way smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Way smaller.
Yeah.
And especially for, I've said this multiple times, Peerless is not that hard to find, at least not in our state. You can find it most other places. For the distribution they're able to do, it is a very small operation.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But they have a pretty cool setup for their tour and everything. And the rick house that they have there was interesting. We talked about, we got to see their first barrel. And we were talking about while we were there shortly after how whether it was really like what the symbology of it was.
Well, their first barrel, they put it out for
symbology.
The guy symbolism.
I'm sure the word you were looking for was symbolism. What is the symbolism there?
They put it out for the guy that originally owned DSP KY50.
That's right.
They put it out for him, and then it was like it's his angel share. So as it evaporates, like they'll never open the barrel.
Never gonna pour it. And
but
now it's like maybe it was just fucking gross.
Yeah, it's probably a terrible bourbon. They're probably like, ugh, I'm not doing that one again.
Yeah.
But the nostalgia is cool.
It's a cool story, and it's kind of neat. They were in the middle of doing some renovations, expanding and building a second tasting room, I think they said.
So I don't remember.
Yeah, but we went into the tasting room and got to taste their four of them.
Yeah, it was the campfire. They had a single barrel, another single barrel, and then the rye and the regular bourbon.
Yeah, regular bourbon.
Or the small batch or whatever it is they called it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. We ended up getting like one of each, I think, and I got a rye, which I had the other night. It's really good. And I think we killed that campfire before the weekend was over.
Yeah, it was just, there was a little bit left when I got to Camp Hero.
Okay.
But
didn't last.
No. It was really good. That was the first thing I did when I got home. Well, I mean, first thing I drank after I got home was I opened one of those.
Nice.
Yeah, we got four or five. And they had a really weird deal. It was like if you buy 4, you get $50 off or something. And we're like, okay. Yeah. Discounted bourbon. Yeah, I'll take it. Right. And it was so good. It was like that big red cinnamony stuff that I like.
The tour guide was really cool too. She did a really good job. We were lucky we had a small group.
Yeah.
And it was Matt and I, and then these 2 ladies.
And they were like, she was like, where are y'all from?
Yeah. And I'm sitting there fumbling with the camera, and she goes, oh, well, we're from Ohio. And I look over at Matt and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
We can't even leave Charleston and get away.
Charleston for 72 hours without having them.
They're everywhere. How are there so many people from Ohio? I mean, they're just...
Well, for them, that's super close.
I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but it's like really affecting my life. Ohioans affect my life more than anything else. I see them all the time, and they're always annoying.
Oh.
I hate you. I'm just kidding. You're fine. Or are you? Anyway,
there's plenty of Ohioans I like.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. There's I work with a couple. Go Buckeyes. I'm gonna give them all black eyes, but the chick was cool, and she is a bartender, I guess, at another cool spot that I can't remember the name.
Yeah, it's something on bourbon or something above bourbon, high on bourbon or upper. I don't know, but it was a restaurant bar she recommended us going to. We never had a chance to make it there, but yeah, she was super cool.
Yep. And then what did you do after that? Oh,
well, after that
I looked up distilleries, and we were buying tours for the first day, and and I saw Heaven Hill Bernheim Distillery, that's where their Bernheim Distillery is, and I was like, sick. Booked a tour at Heaven Hill, and then when we landed, I was just checking the reservations and everything. Turns out it was in Bardstown, so we had to drive an hour from Louisville to Bardstown. But once I noticed that, I texted Chief Mercer, and I was like, hey, let's get dinner.
Yeah.
But we went to Heaven Hill, and it was the worst tour I've ever been on.
Yeah, it wasn't a full distillery tour. It was just sort of a tasting.
It was, if you go, they give you the option to buy nice bottles after the tour. It's called like bourbon.
I think it's the Bourbon Connoisseur.
Bourbon Connoisseur, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Bourbon Connoisseur tour.
Yep. But the whole thing was set up, and I get it, like it's a touristy thing, but it was just overly touristy. Like to get to where the tasting was, you had a long walk through the gift shop, right? And then the lady who
they had that big barrel, and you go inside, and then it's all a TV. She's like, "Don't stand against the walls. You'll see what I mean in a second." And it's like, all right, you just ruined whatever you were gonna do.
Yeah.
So everybody sits down except me. Were you standing?
I stood.
Yeah.
The two of us stood, and that couple that ended up sitting with us, they also stood in the back. And
then they turned the lights off, and everybody's like, woo! It's the first time they've been in the dark. And then the walls light up, and they're charring a barrel, and everybody's like, ah!
They have like a 365 degree, or maybe not quite 360, but projectors.
248.
And they put they projected flames on the wall, so it was as if you were standing inside a barrel.
Yeah.
Okay, it was cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a little gimmicky, but then we went out and into the little tasting area.
And that tasting room was nice, though.
The tasting room was very nice. And there was another one on the other side that looked like it had a more full bar.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe that's for some different type of event or experience.
I wonder who the guy was on the computer in there.
No idea.
Bet she's somebody important.
Maybe.
Got that whole bar to himself.
Yeah.
But so they had 4 tiny little Glens, which 2 went missing from our table.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow 2 were lost.
It's weird.
And then I found it in my luggage.
Yeah, there's one on my bar. I don't know how I got there.
I don't know.
Is that grand larceny? No.
Not quite.
It's so we had the Parker's Heritage, the orange one. We had the one that just says barrel on the front, I think. We had Old Fit 16 or 19?
16.
16.
It was 19.
Yeah. And then we had a Henry McKenna 10-year. And then Elijah Craig Barrel Proof 921. That was what the tasting was, which is not a bad tasting. I mean, I think it was $35 a person or something.
Yeah, it was great tasting. And then we got the opportunity to buy Parker's and the...
yeah, well, she was given a tour. She was lying the whole time. So when she was like, there's Old Fits and Parker's and Barrel Proof all at the cash register waiting for you, I was like, she's full of shit.
But the thing that was irritating was she just missed the mark on some of her points.
Missed the mark. She was misinformed.
Oh, excuse me.
Someone lied to her, or she forgot because she's old.
Maybe.
She's a nice lady.
She just got some specific things wrong, and it was the guy next to us was kind of like, and Matt's over here going, trying not to have a stroke, and I'm like, dude, I'm sure they're hiring, and he's like, yeah, but I know how they treat their employees.
Which we've done 2 episodes on how they treat their employees, and I'll link them right here.
Everybody was laughing at our table, and nobody else understood why, but it was pretty funny. Then there was the lady that kept stealing stuff. She was walking over to the empty table.
We had an empty table, and she just walked over and she's like, "These are mine now." I mean, sure, somebody would have been able to drink them, but like it should have been a democratic decision.
She jacked all the chocolate.
Yeah, it's like,
all right, lady.
You know what's funny is all the places we went that had chocolate, it was like this tiny little thing, and then fast forward, Old Forester's chocolate. We'll get to it, but it's like, dude, it was It was like an Easter bunny. It was huge.
Yeah, it was actually the Reese's eggs that you get that are, I don't know, about the size of almost a little bit bigger than a golf ball.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. That was how big it was.
It was like 2 Twinkies put together.
Yeah, it was big. But anyways, we finished that. We got the opportunity to buy the
Parker's Heritage, which is the last one he made before he left or died or quit selling.
Did I understand when she was talking? Did I understand correctly that they, like the distillers there at Heaven Hill and other surrounding distillers, got together and agreed that they wouldn't make it anymore or something like that to honor him? I thought I understood something like that.
They're not making it anymore.
Yeah. But like they're not making anymore, and no one's going to make any effort to buy the rights to it or any of that kind of stuff.
I can't speak. I don't remember.
I thought she said something like that.
That was probably when steam was coming out of my ear.
Probably.
So the one that really got me was she was talking about Battle of the Barrel Proofs. You can watch it here. Battle of the Barrel Proofs. There's a bunch of cards in this one. But in the Barrel Proof, we talked about how the naming convention is, but it's ABC, so it's first, second, third batch. Next number is the month, and then the last 2 numbers of the year. So we had C921, which is the last batch of the year, month 921. She said that it was 9, and then the day was 21. So it was the 21st day of the 9th month, and I'm like, like that. That's when we had the discussion. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I mean, why am I going to get upset? It's like, I just don't like it when people tell people wrong information, misinformation. That's a good thing they're coming out with
the Ministry of Truth. They'll be there to let you know that you're wrong.
Yeah. So now that the government's going to decide what's true and not, we're all safer. Okay.
Anyways,
that's enough of that.
Enough of that.
We went to the guy that builds all the rick houses. We went to his.
Yeah, we met.
What was it called?
Chief Mercer. It was the Scout and Scholar.
Scout and Scholar.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in Bardstown, check that place out.
Right. And Chief was there. We got to hang out with Chief.
Yeah.
Had dinner with him, and he was explaining that the guy who owns the company who builds like 90-something% of the rick houses in Kentucky has so much money. The family doesn't know what, had to find something else, some sort of tax shelter to put money into, basically. So they built this brewery and restaurant.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Super nice.
Very nice.
The building looks old, but it's actually.
Yeah, it's very nice. All the brewing equipment and everything inside is top notch, high end stuff. It's very well kept. And then the inside is really, really nice. And had dinner. He handed us a gift. We got some of the Jim Beam Black Label 8-year,
the old stuff.
So I haven't opened it yet. Looking forward to
We should open one and put one up here.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So thanks, Chief, for that. That was very very cool. I don't know how long you've been holding on to that, but he also gave us a envelope full of Chief stickers, which is rare these days.
Mm-hmm. And Bardstown was a cool town.
Yeah.
Very,
not what I expected.
Very blue collar, like the.
I thought it was going to be like hoity-toity.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a regular town.
Yeah, just like a regular town.
Yeah.
What was going on at 6:00? There was an alarm or
the tornado sirens.
Is that what it was?
It's not tornado. It's the end of the day. Like
the steam whistle or whatever.
It's time to go home.
Yeah. And no kidding, we tried to go to a liquor store downtown.
Yeah, closed at 6.
Everything was closed at 6. Like there were just a couple of things open.
I think they got it right though.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah.
close 6, go home, do what you know, be with the family,
Why
go
would you
out.
stay out all night? Who cares?
Yeah, no. So that was cool. And then from there, we drove back and met Trevor, your friend Trevor, right?
Yep. Trevor, he's if you don't know what a Harlequin is, you should look it up, a Volkswagen Harlequin. As some of you know, I used to be big into the Volkswagens, and I've known him a long time. But I've run into him at shows and stuff. I've never been to his house. He's never been to my house.
Really?
Yeah. But
just show out, just show hangs.
Just shows. We just, he's in the town, or I'm in town, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to a place called the Garage Bar, which is pretty cool. They had two wrecked cars out front.
2 cars that had sitting out front. It's a static display.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. And then I had a couple cocktails, and I think we ordered some pizza.
Pizza, yep.
Some fire oven pizza.
Stone, yeah.
Stone fire is a charcoal coal
Brick
fire.
oven.
Brick oven, yeah.
Pizza.
And then we're sitting in there, and I look outside, and this lady's leaving, and her hair is like sideways, like just straight. And I'm like, that's odd. And then our phones go off, and there was like a
everybody's
tornado.
phone in the entire it starts going off, and there's a
emergency alert.
Right, there's a tornado, like
whatever an Amber Alert is for a tornado. That's what it was.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's right. And
we were
just like, well,
not sober.
Guess we'll just keep drinking.
So we're like, okay. I mean, we're in a concrete building,
Yeah, it's fine.
I wasn't concerned.
No, it was
but
fine.
the bar was. They closed. They were like, okay, we're
gonna go home now because
we can't safely keep you here. We're like, okay,
it's fine.
Yeah, I'm here of my own free will.
Correct.
But yeah,
they weren't having it.
So we went back to that was the first day. It was a pretty eventful first day.
Yeah, it was the first day.
And so we went back and we watched Tinder Swindler.
That documentary is wild.
Yeah.
So many questions.
I won't spoiler alert it, but you should watch it and then come into the Patreon Discord chat and talk to me about it. Because I have ideas on what happened.
I have thoughts.
I have really smart thoughts. I think I'm correct. But how often am I not correct, Exactly. Oh, let's do a plug break.
A plug break.
Yeah.
It's time for the pod of the week.
This week's plug of the week is brought to you by me, and the plug is Waypoint TV.
Yep.
.com.
WaypointTV.com.
Waypoint TV is a outdoor hunting, fishing, and like outdoor adventure channel.
Yeah.
So they curate shows
like Pursuit Channel, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. You can get it on most of your smart devices, Roku, Apple TV, a lot of smart TVs.
I meant to tell you the other day, Andy was showing me like her outdoor app folder, and she had Waypoint in there.
Yep.
So she's watched stuff on there.
And I went through my TV the other day. You go to like the regular channels that we get through our, just our antenna. Yeah. If you go down, you get into digital channels, and Waypoint is already on the TV. Nice. So, but they also happen to have a very carefully curated podcast network.
Do they?
Indeed, they do. And can you
guess
who was approached and invited to join the Waypoint Podcast Network?
I don't know.
It was us.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So we're going through the business side of everything, contract and all that stuff. I got to get that worked out. But
did that show up yet?
It has not yet.
Okay.
So take it for what it is.
Well, I mean, I would reply, be like, hey, we're coming up on, did we pay a full year?
No, it's monthly for.
No, I mean for Podbean or.
No.
Okay.
No, they wouldn't. I couldn't figure out how to do it. And
That's right.
I emailed to do it. So maybe
what that was?
Fate.
That was karma.
Karma indeed.
That was deer antlers. The god of antlers.
We'll be joining the network. What that means for you as a listener, if you primarily watch this on YouTube, you're not going to really notice a difference. If you listen on your favorite podcasting app, you will also not notice a difference. You're going to still get the podcast, but the format's going to be broken up a little differently. There'll be some couple of ads in the beginning.
What we call pre-roll in the industry.
Yeah.
There will be some ads coming. We've been trying to hold that off for, we're coming up on 2 years in October.
Right. And we promised at the beginning that we would hold off on ads as long as possible, but this is a unique opportunity to be in a network that is strictly focused on outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
It'll give us an opportunity to cross-promote with other other podcasts, get more podcast guests.
Guesticles.
The trade-off is that for, in order to get that access and get those extra benefits, we have to share some ads on the show. So they'll be relevant. And
they'll be outdoor related. Maybe
related.
Some insurance here and there.
But
I believe State Farm is one of them.
Yeah, if you stuck with us this long, we appreciate it. Hopefully, I don't think it would drive you away. I think
also, every podcast you listen to has ads. So
correct.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the plug of the week.
We're being syndicated.
Yeah,
I just like saying that word.
Syndicated.
Yeah. We still own the content. It's nothing's changing. No one's going to tell us what to do. We can still keep doing the same thing.
Nothing will change except that there will be some ads in the beginning and ads in the middle. And we have actually a good amount of control over what kind of ads get played. So,
and if you're a business owner and you would like to advertise with us, we are now accepting those offers as well.
Indeed. Anyways, enough of that.
Indeed.com.
So we went back to the Airbnb afterwards. We watched the Tinder Swindler. Oh, about the Airbnb.
Yeah, that place looked. All right, so our instructions were like, whoever's on the contract, that's all that's allowed in there. If you're not on a contract, we have a people counter at the door and it counts how many people come in. Like if more than that many people come in, excommunicado, you're out. There's a noise sensor, which I think it was that thing plugged into the wall. Mm-hmm. So if you get above a certain decibel amount, police are called, you're kicked out, no refunds. It's like, so I'm thinking this place is going to be the Taj Mahal.
Immaculate, right?
It was falling apart.
Bro, I walked into the bathroom downstairs and the toilet seat was sitting on the ground up against the shower. Yeah. It wasn't even attached. I had to attach the toilet seat myself.
Well, it didn't attach. You just sat it on the toilet, right?
Well, no. There was on the back of the actual porcelain part of there was a metal rod that the seat slid onto. So I was able to secure it, but it was only half of it secure.
Yeah.
So I couldn't I had to be careful about how I adjusted when I was
build a nest and settle in.
And then I closed the door to take a shower late that night, and there was a damn wet rag and towel hanging on the back of the door.
Yeah. From the previous renters.
Right.
Yeah, and then upstairs where I was, the shower was covered in like orange mold, which I think is the dangerous one.
I think it was just, I think it was from water.
It was fuzzy.
Oh, weird. That's
It looked like a bad orange. And then there was a curtain rod that was supposed to give you some privacy up there, or maybe block out the sun. Probably block out the sun.
Right.
But it was a cable that was like 10 feet long, reaching from side to side of this room, and it had broken. So the cable's just laying on the floor all prickly. And like, that's a hospital trip. Probably I wouldn't go to the hospital, but it's a hurt foot if you wake up in the middle of the night and step on that. But I sent them pictures of it, and I was like, just so you know, I'm not the kind of guy to complain, but here you go.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, we're under construction. I'm like, well, then why are you renting it? And then I sent them another thing, and I'm like, I just don't want to be blamed for this. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're aware the last tenant broke that. I'm like, okay, just letting you know. And then they keep asking me for reviews. Like, I got an email today that was like, it would mean a lot to us if you'd review this property. And I was like,
I really don't think you want me to do that.
You don't. I'm doing you a favor by ignoring you.
That they were like huge spider webs and
gigantic.
Stuff
there were spider webs everywhere, and there's like bugs stuck in them. It's like fascinating. I'm guessing it's a Vanguard or a BlackRock owned property.
Probably.
If you,
that's not. If you know, you know.
You get killed by talking about it. They're coming for you. So we woke up bright and early the next morning, and then we went to get breakfast, biscuits.
The messiest thing I've ever seen a human being eat.
Dude, it was...
ever seen an adult eat.
Yeah. It was a chicken biscuit. Mine had like jalapenos and sauce and pimento cheese. It had like the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
And then I was eating it while driving, and the biscuit was just falling apart. But at that point, I
looked over, and you had one hand on the wheel, and the other hand was just completely covered from tip to knuckle in sauce and all this other stuff. And you're over there just like licking your fingers. And man, it was...
Speaking of that, have you seen the banned Cheetos commercial?
No.
Bro. All right. Everything must stop. All right. Here you go.
This is a banned Cheetos commercial?
Banned Cheetos commercial.
Okay.
Billy,
Oh, it's Doritos.
use the cleaner.
Oh. Touchdown.
Yeah, it only works with Doritos.
Why only Doritos?
You ask too many questions, Billy.
I heard if you make a wish and eat a Dorito, comes true.
So that's what made me think. So great segue. Thanks for setting that joke up.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Isn't that a good commercial though?
Yeah, it was a really funny commercial. He's cleaning off his fingers as we're sitting in the Brown Forman Cooperage parking lot. And we weren't sure what building we're supposed to be in, so we're like standing outside the Cooperage at the door. And then our two tour guides,
Fitz and Tyler,
stick their head out the door and they're like, I think you guys are supposed to be over here.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, sorry.
Can I park here? And he's like, I don't know.
I'm sure it's probably fine.
You can park there.
So yeah, we got to taste their
Cooper's Craft. So we got
Cooper's
to do their small batch and then their barrel proof. Both are delicious.
Yep.
If you haven't had Cooper's Craft, you should pick it up.
Yep. Definitely worth the grab.
So we did that. We learned about Cooper's Craft and the company and kind of what Fitz and Tyler do. And then we went next door to the Brown Forman Cooperage.
Yes.
And we were the fourth guests since 2020.
Yeah.
Due to COVID.
Yep.
Not because of anything, but they cannot afford to shut down.
Right. So they took extra precaution to keep people out so that their folks would not risk getting exposed and having to take
exposure, and then they have to take off work. Yeah, and then the Cooperage.
They pushed. I think they said it was 2,500 barrels a day.
I don't remember.
It was a big number.
Yeah, it's a large
I know
number.
they did 100 in the 40 minutes we were in there. They pushed through, and fascinating process, man.
Yeah.
Those guys that were right at the very front.
The Master
Coopers. I think combined, there's 4 or 5 of them, but combined there was over 100 years worth of cumulative experience.
Makes sense.
And
I know that he said every single one of those guys had over 20 years.
Yeah, it's wild.
But it's like the skill that you need to take, because we take barrels apart all the time, but to pull all these rings off, all these hoops, all these hoops off except one, and then shimmy a stave out and replace it with another one. Mm-hmm. It's skill.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch them work.
Yeah,
they.
So the process is pretty simple. We did a whole video on it, so you can go look here and go watch it. Just gotta get my cards straight.
Yeah, the amount of is custom the right word? Process specific machines and tools that they have is just mind blowing.
They had a machine that the guy was stacking, and that reel that I made, that's what he was making was lids, and then he puts it in this machine, and I have video of it, and it just chops off. It's like boom, out comes the lid.
So he would take the parts for the heads, and there's a laser above his workspace, and it showed the exact shape and size of the head. So he had to just make sure to put boards in and stack them in order with enough real estate to fit that laser in it, because then it goes into another machine where this giant saw just goes around and cuts that at that angle that the lids are in.
It's called a cant.
There you go. Cuts that, and then they go into the into that, it's almost like a conveyor brick oven for pizza. Then they toast and char the bottom of it.
Char them up. They slide out, roll down the assembly line to the assembly section, and they have these rings in the ground, and the guy 2 at a time just throws staves into it, and as he gets to the end, he can just look and grab that one. That's the one I need. Puts it in there. This metal hoop just closes it up. Then they move on down, and they add hoops, and they have these big rings on it, and then there's a conveyor belt for the rings. When the rings come off, that drop them right back at the original station. It's pretty crazy. It's like, and you could tell it's an old craft, and they were like, this will be easy to build. We know exactly what we need.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And while we were there, Tyler, we were told him that we wanted to go to Old Forester, but we didn't have time. And then I was like, we want to do a tour, but we couldn't get on a tour. And he was like, I'll be right back. And so he got us in a tour at Old Forester, I think at 2:30. So we left and went to White Castle.
Yeah, what a joke.
Terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever eaten. We stopped eating it.
Yeah, we didn't even, I think we both got through one. We're like, and they were like, maybe we can power through this.
I took the patties off of 2 and made one.
We tried to
sandwich,
make
like,
something. It was so nasty.
It was terrible. It was like
somehow the bread had all ended up soggy and wet.
Yeah, everything was wet, and the beef tasted like they had like soaked it in water, like brined it with no salt. Just like throw the beef in water, and then it got mushy, and they cooked it.
Any taste that it did happen to have had just been sucked out of it.
Yeah,
it was gross.
It was nasty.
It is not the White Castle I remember as a kid.
I don't either. But we were in and out of there in that 30-minute time limit.
Yeah, there was a sign on the door that said you have 30-minute time limit to sit down and eat and get the fuck out, basically.
Yeah, don't stay here, you vagrant. But there probably is a lot of homeless people around. That's probably what it's for.
Yeah. I made a joke about going to the Chinese place that was across the street that had seafood. By the time we were done eating, I think it would have been a better choice.
They had oysters.
Yes. The menu they had outside was...
I wonder what Kentucky oysters taste like. Freshwater oysters.
Like Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah. Dude, Rocky Mountain oysters are the truth. Gavin, you ever had Rocky Mountain oysters? Do you know what they are? Would you eat them? Done. He just said yes. We're going to get him some.
Okay.
That and some huevos rancheros. Yeah, sick. I'm excited for that. That's going to be great. That's a Patreon only episode. So we went to Old Forester, and we got there, and we met a executive bourbon steward.
And we were like,
hey,
what
tomorrow we will be.
Yeah.
And then we did the tour with Kira, which was fantastic, and I lost her her address. So if you happen to see this, Kira, send me your address. She did a really good job. That's the best tour I've been on yet.
She was very knowledgeable.
Yeah, she knew the things. You got choked up last time we were talking about it.
Yeah, well, got me again.
Yeah.
But yeah, she, from start to finish, first of all, the way they laid that facility out and did the tour is very smart. It flows well. Each room and each section leads into the next talking point for the next process.
And you come through, you start and end in the gift shop, but at 2 different sides of the gift shop.
Yes.
Smart.
And it was very well put together. And you could tell she's passionate about what she does, and sharing and passing on this information about Old Forester and just bourbon in general.
Yep.
And got to see their little mini Cooperage that they have there. They make like a couple of barrels a day, if that.
Yeah.
And which is nice, because if you didn't, we had a unique opportunity to go to that Cooperage. Not everybody gets that opportunity. So
nobody apparently gets that opportunity.
So to be able to show and see that is pretty neat. Got to see where they're aging a bunch of stuff, and of course that's not the only rick house they have, but they had some barrels back there, and towards right before we went into our tasting room, you get to walk right through the bottling process, and they were bottling. Matt, we turned the corner, and he's like, "Smells like 1920."
And it was.
Sure as shit it was. That's what they were bottling, so it was pretty funny.
I drink a lot of Old Forester, especially 1920.
Yeah.
1920, and the 1915. I drink, that's like the main thing in the cup if it's not wild turkey.
Yep. It's good stuff.
But it was cool. I took a picture. You remember the wall, the little mini barrels that were etched on the wall, the glass wall?
No.
No one ever notices that. I'll put the picture up, but it's I imagine that nobody notices that.
Maybe I did notice it and just didn't pay attention to it.
I don't know what I'm talking about. But they're like these little tiny glass or little tiny whiskey barrels, and they're etched into the glass wall in there.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Sick. I took a picture of it because I was like, this is really cool, but it's outside the cooperage.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty nifty.
Yeah, that's cool.
Be cool to have a spot like that and do little things like that nobody would notice.
Details.
But I know they're there.
In the details.
It was really cool. And then you took some pictures of the high wine, low wine spot, and and then we went into the tasting, and they did the whiskey row, which I've done with Jackie Zycam before. So we had to do it with Kira, and Kira's really good. She was working the room.
Yep.
Like a
pro.
Wouldn't surprise me if she had a side job as a stand-up.
Now that you say that, I could totally see her.
She
do
has
that.
the cadence and the brevity for it. Like
for
she was
sure.
doing well.
Yeah, she was. So we were sitting there. Somehow we ended up at the head of the table.
Somehow,
we
actually got really lucky because when we got there, they were like, "So you were at the Cooper's store this morning?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Who are you?" And we're like, "Nobody."
What do you do in the industry? Was her
Nothing.
was her question? She's like, "So what do you guys do in the industry?"
I was like, "Nothing. We just got lucky. We know somebody."
She's like, she kept pressing, and eventually we were like, we do a thing. We have a thing.
We have a thing.
But we just
don't worry about
that. Yeah.
And so because they didn't know who we were, I think they treated us as though we were somebody special.
Right. Because in reality, we're nobody special.
She thought we were
bourbon personalities.
And so anyways, we got through the tasting, dealt with a rather...
She was aggressive.
That's a good word. She was a lot.
She was a bitch. You're a mean girl.
Wow. And she, at one point, you made a joke. And well, first of all, you made the comment about she asked you what you...
Somebody said, what flavors you use? And nobody was saying anything. I was like, we're going to sit in a room full of people that can't pick one flavor. So I said, Great Big League Chew, because that's what I get out of 1897. And everybody laughed at me like I was making a joke. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, big grape, whatever. So this dude on the other side of the corner, he tasted it and he was like, I taste grape Big League Chew. Yeah, grape bubble gum. And then I was like, maybe they don't know what Big League Chew is.
Right. I
don't know.
Maybe that's what threw them off is the Big League Chew. Maybe they I don't know.
But the Big League Chew has that dust on it. That's what So so right away people were like, they thought we were weird, which is I don't care. Used to it. But I think I made a joke about something.
I did make a joke as I was mid-sip.
And you were like
and I like coughed because he got it like right as I was swallowing, so it kind of got in my nose and
yeah, you did.
And she from the other side of the table goes, that must be embarrassing.
as if he was coughing and gagging on the whiskey.
To be honest with you, I didn't even think she was talking to me.
I didn't hear her say it.
So I kept coughing, and then she was like, is that embarrassing? And I was like, coughing? Like I'm really confused.
I didn't even hear her.
And then I realized that she thinks I'm coughing because the whiskey's too strong or something.
Yeah, the 94 proof 1897 version.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're being a
yeah, and then Jesus.
So we can beep that out. It's fine.
Okay, good. So
5222.
We need a permanent assistant to write this stuff down.
An intern.
Yeah. What do you mean no? Boy.
Well, anyways,
the beatings will continue.
At that point, I decided to just shut up.
Well, because like Kira, she like looked down at the table, and I was like, and she didn't say anything. So as soon as we got up to leave, she was like, she thought that he was gagged. She was like, I'm pretty sure he knows how to drink whiskey. And I was like, yeah, he's had a glass or two.
Yeah. It was, so anyways, but while we were up there, she makes a radio call.
Code.
So she calls a guy and he's like, she's like, I think you know what I'm going to ask. And he's like, you need candlesticks? I'm almost positive that's what he said.
I mean, that makes sense.
Because it was weird, but
I didn't hear what she said.
Yeah, she said, I need candlesticks. I thought he was going to bring something. She was going to bring something else up to the room.
Yeah.
And then he said how many. She gave the number. It matched the number of people in the tour. I was like, The idea of what we had the opportunity for did not even cross my mind.
I didn't even hear what she said she needed. I thought it was like more chocolate because they had this huge chocolate bar.
Yeah. And so I thought it was another snack or just something else. And so as we continued and got towards the end, she explained that, once a day, they get the opportunity to choose a group, if they choose one at all, to have the opportunity to buy birthday bourbon.
Yeah.
And the room went bananas. I was actually surprised that many people there knew what it was, because I feel like a lot of people go to these tours and they're just doing the tourist thing and they don't know.
I bet that like, because my eyes lit up, and then that lady, the biatch, she was saying something. So I think that maybe
and there was a guy that ran around and high-fived everybody.
Yeah.
He was really excited.
So she was like, do not open the bag. Don't on our premise, you will not open this bag. So buy it and leave, and then open it in your car.
Yeah.
And so Gus and I both bought this year's birthday bourbon. Pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. It's a cool opportunity. So in 2 days, we had opportunities to buy
all the
several very, very rare bottles of whiskey or bourbon, which is really cool.
Yeah, definitely cool. It's mine. Did you open yours yet?
I haven't. Have you? No.
I figure I'd make a video of it probably.
Yeah. I figure save it for something fun or special. Share it.
Yep.
What?
So then we left there.
Yeah. And
went and changed real quick.
Oh yeah, Watch Hill Proper. That's right.
Rocco picked us up, took us to Watch Hill Proper, and we had a great time.
Yeah. Stopped first off at, was that like one of his bourbon clubs, like hangout spots?
Yeah, we went to O-Line. That's so The barrels there,
Yeah.
the O-Line Sports Bar right there.
Okay.
So that's who did the pick
Got it.
with him.
Okay.
I guess they can do picks or whatever. So that's where the Camp Hero, if you got a Camp Hero pick, we went to the O-Line bar and grill. Really cool spot. Everybody there was nice. It's pretty interesting to go to a bar and like everybody knows about bourbon. Like you could just chat about bourbon.
It was definitely.
But it's also Kentucky.
That's true. But I think it was a sports bar that a bourbon club adopted. Is kind of how it happened. Kind of what happened.
Sense.
Like it was open. It was just like any other sports bar, and then a bourbon club sort of decided to be their hangout. And it's
Kentucky
probably
has weird rules when it comes to stuff like buying bottles and you can sell them and whatnot. But yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, I went there and then went to Watch Hill proper, and Rocco ordered everything on the menu for food, almost. But we had tuna tartare, which is one of my low-key favorite things in the world.
It was really good.
We had meatballs. We had, I don't remember. We had everything. We had
the charcuterie tray.
The charcuterie board was massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
And as he was ordering all these snacks, I'm like, we need to stop on the way home because I'm going to be hungry still, you know?
Yeah.
No, we tried, let's see.
I did some old turkey.
I tried a
bunch of cocktails.
I can't remember which Booker's it was I tried. I think it was
the silver one.
It was Booker's
might have been the first one.
Something own.
I don't remember.
Anyways, tried one from like 2014 or 16, I think is what it was. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It took forever to find that one turkey that you wanted.
Yeah, it. I think that it was in a box somewhere.
But yeah, that was good. That was a good time. Then we had we had to get an Uber back because Rocco kind of lived in the opposite direction and didn't want to drive us 40, 30 minutes back to Louisville. So we called an Uber. It took them forever this guy to find us.
We got in there and he was a published author, and he was
we didn't realize that at first.
Welcome to the death cab where I'm going to sell you my book the whole way home.
Well, there was a book sitting there and it was facing, the passenger. And I didn't realize until about halfway in the drive that it had his name on it, which is about the same time he that he decided to throw us a card and be like, you can buy my book. It's about dealing with...
Hey, by the way, here's a card to buy my book. What a weird thing to say.
Yeah, it was basically it was a Vietnam guy, he said, and he was all messed up when he got back, and it was all the...
From Hill 365.
All the
what does everything have to do with Vietnam?
I'm sorry. What the fuck does anything have to do with Vietnam? I'm sorry.
Everything was based on scripture, and you were like...
Which scripture?
Which scripture?
Because I'm interested.
And he was like, what?
What?
And I'm like, well, you said scripture.
There's a lot of scripture out there.
Christian. And he was like, well, I'm Baptist. And you were like, oh, so Christian.
The Christian Bible.
Christian Bible.
Yeah.
And you were like, there's a lot of religions out there.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
I guess there is.
I guess there is. And that was pretty much the end of the conversation.
Yeah, not another word.
We didn't talk about it at all. And the guy sat up there and just sang Frank Sinatra the rest.
Sang
Frank Sinatra for the rest of the drive. And
super weird. Good thing we were hammered.
We got back and watched
Happy,
which is a crazy show.
Wild show. If you like wild shows, it's kid friendly.
It is not kid friendly.
But it's on Netflix, so it has to be kid friendly.
Okay.
It's good. It's got the guy from SVU, Special Victims Unit, whatever, like Las Vegas. It's got that guy, like the lead, the guy that's super serious, the cop.
Yeah.
He's in it, and he's a degenerate. And he has this imaginary unicorn that flies around with him and helps him like fight. It's
wild.
It's nuts.
But it's
a great show.
Yeah.
Isagura show.
So we went to bed, and then the next morning we had school.
We went to the Moonshine University for the executive bourbon steward class, which is essentially the same as the regular bourbon steward class,
except you get to do some hands-on stuff.
You get to distill. So we got to grind corn. We got to make
Which makes
beer.
me wonder, like, how is the online version of the executive bourbon steward class going to be different than?
I think you would just insert.
Send you
get to watch this guy, and you get the kit.
send you the kit, and then you get to watch the guy do some distilling stuff.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, we got to do it with our own hands.
Yeah, we signed up for it back when you had to do it in person, and now you can do it online. It's like $500 or something.
You got your coin on you?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I don't even know where it is right now.
You don't know where they are?
When would I ever need it?
Mine's proudly on display in my office.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sick, dude. Your family make you
$500 coin.
It is a $500 coin. We should make like displays for it with lights and everything, and like hanging on the wall. People come in like, "What's that?" I'm like,
buy like an entire like glass display, and just set it.
My uncle was talking. He was like, "You sure you don't want some peach brandy?" He's like pricing out. And I'm like, "No, man. I just like the clear,
regular stuff."
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, and he's like trying to explain to me like that, and I'm like, "Look, I have the highest certification in the bourbon industry that you can get. I understand what you're doing." And he's like, "So you're like a salmon son?" I was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
yep, I'm a salmon son."
Well, so the Whiskey Tribe guys there, Daniel has that school where they do the whiskey sommelier thing.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's any different, other than it costs a lot more.
Yeah,
it's like a week long, I think.
The whiskey som, you can't do it. You can't take one class. It's like one class every 3 months. So you have to go back to Texas. It's in Texas. So you go there.
It's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's like real school.
Gotcha.
But I think a lot of that is tasting through notes and learning people's palates and how to, it's probably all a gimmick.
I don't know if they got a cool chain you get to wear.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go.
Why just you?
Because I want to.
Okay.
Did you start your deer steward yet?
Can you start it?
I don't know.
I thought you had to wait. I don't know. I don't know either.
We should probably check on that. We run out. We paid all that money for it.
And it turns out that date that they told us is actually the exam
completion date. Yeah. Oh, it could be. Yeah. That's a valid.
We should really check into that.
Yeah, that could be that could be the exam date.
They give us 2 months because I think it's in July, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, well,
lots happened since then.
That's an accurate statement.
So we had a good time at the bourbon steward class, learned some stuff. Wild. The guy behind us had just been at Warrior Surf, which is 3 miles from my house. Yeah. He was there for a week.
Yeah, overheard him say something about Charleston and Folly Beach, and then I looked and I saw you had already turned around, and you were like, "I know, what's her name?"
Stephanie. Yeah, I know Stephanie, the girl that owns. Well, she doesn't own. It's a charity, but
Small World.
CEO of Warrior Surf. So they take veterans surfing, and it's very mindfulness and yoga and stuff. Looks cool. Not my speed, but
yeah, Matt prefers to handle his things with
like to ride hard or ride fast. Ride fast and die hard. Right. Can't save that one.
No, it's staying in there.
Okay.
Anyways,
so Friday morning or Saturday morning, you got yourself an Uber, and I drove
an early terrorist Uber.
I drove terrorist Uber.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, dude.
Yeah. Like Islam terrorist? Is there any other kind?
Some would say yes.
Got them.
Yeah, so I get
they're domestic terrorists. Yeah,
yeah, I got in there. And
we can't keep saying the T word on here. It's gonna get flagged.
It might. Yeah. So you got there, but you went and you left the night before. So I had that last night at a wonderful Airbnb by myself. I Uber eated some food, some barbecue, which was pretty good. And the lady was lost. She couldn't figure out where, so I had to go outside.
Oh no.
And the exchange happened because she was at a light and I was tired of waiting. So I just walked out to her car, like in the middle of traffic, and grabbed my bag of food and walked back in. But you went ahead and drove down to Camp Hero.
I went to McKee, Kentucky, Jackson County, went to Camp Hero, and got up early. We drank a little bit. Got up early Saturday morning, went on my first to-kill turkey hunt, my first Kentucky turkey hunt.
Yep.
Went out there, and as soon as we arrived, we forgot the decoy, so we drove back to Camp Hero to get them. And then when we got back, I opened the door. As soon as I shut the door, it was actually this sound. It was a shouts out to Josh Bynum for sending me this clip just a few minutes ago.
Such a cool sound.
So I heard that sound. And then as we're walking down the little cut to the left to the blind, he did it a couple more times. So we set up the camera. It was basically daybreak at that point.
Yeah.
But we set up the camera, Rocco, box call, pot call, mouth call, just calling every like 5 minutes or so. And I'm messing with the camera, and I think I took like we're out here, Instagram story, and then I look around the corner, and there it is. I see 4 turkeys coming over the hill, and so I smack him in the face with my fist, and I was like, "Look, there they are!" And I just, here I go, wake up. Yeah, he was awake. He was on the phone. He was buying bourbon probably. He's doing bourbon lotteries.
Ah, nice.
And so he starts, and so it turned out to be 3 hens. I thought it was 2 toms and 2 hens, but it was 3 hens. So he's just kind of walking behind them, and then
he's got 3 ladies with him.
Yeah, he's like, "What's up, girls?" And then they broke all. They peeled off, and went into the. There's like a little section with trees in it. Yeah, I'm guessing they're nested up in there.
Probably.
So they rolled up in there, and he's by himself, and Rocco switched to a different call, and the turkey was like, "What's up?" and came straight to us. And so I got footage of him coming, which you can see here, and I got footage of him strutting and throwing his feathers up and twisting his little body, and his beard was damn near dragging the ground, but the grass was like 6-7 inches tall, you know. But he came around the corner, and I had him in frame, and then before I knew it, he took off to the decoy, just full speed. And so I didn't get the kill shot, but you can hear the kill shot. But I didn't get the kill shot on camera. But yeah, knocked it down, and that was good. We sat around for a little bit longer, seeing if another one showed up, and nothing did. So then we went, shout out to Jacob. We went and picked up Jacob, one of the local kids there that Rocco's helped out during Christmas time and stuff. And took him turkey hunting and taught him how to split wood.
Nice.
Cool kid. Cool kid. Left him a Whiskey and Whitetails pot call.
Yeah.
He had a River Brothers hat on.
Nice.
So he got the works.
Cool.
Yeah, man, it was fun. So knocked that turkey down and donated the.
You guys ate it that day, right?
We ate it that day. We ate it that night. Yeah, pulled the boobs out.
Turkey boobies.
Turkey boobs. They were way bigger than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, there's big old chunks of meat.
It's basically like cutting up a deer. I mean, a duck.
A duck, yeah.
Yep, a deer. Yeah, cutting up a duck and way bigger. Bigger than chicken breast. Pretty large. It was 22.5 pounds, 10-inch beard, and like 1.5-inch hooks, spurs, pointy things on his legs. Rocco showed me how to do basic taxidermy on it.
Yep.
So it's mounted up in there and drying right now. It's probably close to being done. I'm going to make a bourbon barrel mount for it for the wall at Camp Hero, and they're going to hang it on the wall there. He wants to get a plaque and everything.
Nice.
Pretty cool, man.
It's cool.
Come on, man. But yeah, so that was the Kentucky trip, and then we went and roosted some birds that night, and then went out early and hunted that morning, and hung out all day. Rocco left, and then just hung out at camp.
Yeah.
And I had some cleaning. I cleaned the stove for him.
Nice.
So it was disgusting.
I bet.
And yeah.
Good deal.
Some people showed up and drank and went to Miss Linda's for Easter brunch.
Nice.
We had burgers. They called it a grillbilly.
A grillbilly?
Yeah, like a hillbilly, but like grill. It was 2 pieces of cinder block, and then they had 2 fence posts ran through the cinder block. They put a grate on top of it, and then they put a fire underneath it, and that's where they cooked the burgers because the grill broke.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Grillbilly. I thought that was funny. So yeah, we did that and socialized, and then I flew home Monday morning. Yeah.
So you did hunt Sunday morning? Is that what you said? Okay.
I did hunt Sunday morning. We hunted a ridge. We actually climbed a mountain. I found out where the deer are.
Where they are now.
I found out where the deer are.
Okay.
They're 100% there all the time. We walked all over the place, but they have grouse there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Mr. Rick, Linda's husband, and he was like, they used to be everywhere. It's like it was a thing. We used to eat grouse all the time. And now they're just not really there. But Rocco and I were standing, we were just listening for turkeys, and all of a sudden I hear where they get on those hollow logs and start drumming. And it was loud. It was like really loud. It was surprising.
That's wild.
So that was fun. That was cool here. And then we walked the river some, and I found a spot that if I ever move out there, I'm going to follow this river for about 4 miles in, cross the river. It's a low spot, and I'm going to build a hunt camp right there.
Yeah.
That way we can hike in 6 miles, and then we're 6 miles into the woods when we start our hunt.
Yeah. Nice.
Pretty sick spot.
Cool.
Build a cabin.
A little cabin.
Out of rocks. River rocks.
River rock cabin.
Yeah.
That's
It'll take a long time. It's going to take a long time. But yeah, that was the trip. That was the thing. Any other questions?
No other questions. We didn't do a fact this week.
Let's do it.
And are we doing a code word?
Let's do the fact first. Go ahead.
Random fact of the week.
Hey Siri. Tell me a random.
There. I'm Siri. What can I do for you?
Yep, appreciate it. Tell me a random fact.
Here's what I found.
Okay. Sick. More human twins are being born now than ever. That's terrible, Siri. Hey, Siri. Tell me a fact.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
You serious? She can't just tell you. Siri, just tell me something.
She's had enough of your shit.
Tell you what, dude, I think that we should get an Alexa and make that our third host. The first person convicted of speeding was going 8 miles per hour.
I think we talked about that one already.
That must be whatever website you just pulled up. I got a fact for you. Antique 107 is 107 proof. And 107 proof is 53.5% alcohol by volume.
Nice.
And according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcohol beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car, operate machinery, may cause health problems.
Oh, well,
there's your random fact. All right.
Congratulations, folks.
Use code word Surgeons General. Okay.
For what? What do they do if they use the code word?
Oh, by the way, Josh C, that won that episode where we just did a random thing.
Yep.
He is getting an Old Forester handkerchief, ice mold, some Old Forester swag, and then I've got a WLS koozie. You're just gonna get a bunch of just swag,
random swag.
Yeah, you're gonna get some stuffs.
Awesome.
So if you want to be like Josh C, use code or use Surgeon General in a sentence.
Either. Where do you want that at?
Or if you're gonna leave a comment on YouTube. If you're gonna leave us a rating, and then in the rating, use that code.
Use that code.
And then we are gonna draw. I think we keep saying we're gonna do it. We need to just do it. I didn't prepare the people.
Okay.
But I'll prepare the people next episode. We'll do a drawing for every episode that we've done so far.
All right. Cool.
Sick.
Are we done?
Yeah, I'm gonna go crash a motorcycle.
Don't do that.
And I'm not gonna wear a helmet.
You're selfish.
Okay, bye.
Bye.